In Vietnam, there was a lot of heads-up display videos that showed the pilot, the aircraft, just doing everything right. And missiles left the aircraft and just went haywire. And after that happens a few times, you've got to fix it. So that's where we kind of started this process of a NELO operation. And when I say NELO, it's a not utilized local live operator, so it's a full-scale aerial target. My Air Force career was in fighter aircraft, and you just don't, that canopy closes, you have a pilot in there in command of that aircraft. It just boggles the mind, and not to have a pilot in that cockpit, it just takes your breath away to think, wow, this is a lot of power. So we do have combat fighter pilots with a lot of experience that are in control of the aircraft, just remotely. But it is weird looking at it.
Just going to accelerate out in front of him.
Okay. Have you shot at an F4? Have you blown up an F4?
I have.
Let's relive that.
Okay, I got to take one of the early shots with the AIM-9X against a full-scale F4. Again, you kind of get this feeling of temporal distortion where you hit the pickle button, nothing really happens, and all of a sudden you get a loud blast and a tiny dot goes off into the distance, and then you're looking outside like you would in your training for the simulated splash, but then all of a sudden you see an actual explosion of the aircraft going down, and it's pretty impressive. The purpose of Combat Archer is to take combat-ready aircrew with the weapon systems and the air-to-air munitions in their fielded configuration. And we take that from the Air Force, the Navy, and the Marines, and our foreign partners, and we pair them up in a combat realistic shot profiles against subscale and full-scale targets.
Well, I was really lucky. I got to shoot 2 missiles actually. So I got to shoot a missile yesterday, and that was successful. It was one of the coolest things I've done in my life, I think.
Yeah, you don't ever get to do things like this. People go their entire Navy career, maybe shoot 1 missile, sometimes don't even shoot any missiles.
It is definitely a little bit different actually shooting something off of your jet than simulating like we normally do, and it makes a big difference to actually see a missile launch and leave your jet and go after what you just shot.
If you don't ever get to experience that, and for some reason you were put into a situation where the first time you experience that is in combat, that wouldn't be a place I would want to be. You want to know what it's going to be like when that missile comes off the jet.
Zone is destroyed in half.
Copy, thank you. The fact that we get to take these airplanes that have served their countries so well for so many years, and we get to employ the next generation of weapons against them and test them, to me is kind of the highest form of flattery that you can have for an F4 like this. For it to be able to, instead of just sitting out in the desert rusting away, for it to kind of go out in a blaze of glory by being shot down as a drone is, to me, a tribute to the F4 and what it's been for our country over the years.
Hard to believe that thing was built when I was born.
I think if those airplanes were humans, yeah, you could go to the old folks' home and just wither away and die, or you can die a Spartan death.
And anytime you're ending a program, we usually refer to it as a sundown of a program, and this is where we're at this month with the F4. We will finish up the NELO operations here, and here at Tyndall we will have transitioned fully to the QF-16. That will be our future aerial target for the next 20 years.